I don't have a dog. Is that Bruno? Oh, hang on. We have a dog issue going.
We got a
on.
run-in?
This is great. Are you recording this?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a dog issue? Why? Is something wrong with Bruno? I think Bruno's in trouble. I have a dog two houses down from me that's in trouble. Should I go rescue him? Should I go put on my super cape?
His name's Bruno?
His name's Bruno.
Did Zabisco turn on him? Is that what happened?
Is he all right? Hang on, this is great. This is good stuff here. What's going on now? Is that not it?
I've never heard a dog over there barking.
I don't think anybody even lives there. I mean, don't you see the property? It looks like nobody even lives there. These people have an unkept house. What's the matter with these fools? Yeah, that dog does not belong in there. Wow, this is a new show we're gonna do. we're gonna find this dog is right home because somehow this little hot dog found his way into somebody's home that there's not even somebody who lives there. He found his way into somebody's homeless.
He's a squatter dog.
Yeah, squatter dog. A little hot dog squatter dog. Well, I think we have an ongoing theme here. Because I don't see this dog stopping all the time. Somehow this dog...
I think we also have a name for the show.
This dog is trapped inside of a steel cage with Bruno Sammartino. Oh, now he shut up. As soon as I
think we have a name for the show now.
Sammartino.
I'll tell you, dog. I'll tell you.
Oh.
Sorry, that was my fault.
The name of the show is Hot Dog Squatter Dog.
All right. Well, we were only 30 seconds in. Wow, this is going to be a doozy.
We're going to leave that in. Welcome, everyone, to Reliving the Extreme. Nate Maxon, your host, here with you. I am along with my brother, Aaron.
Hello, everybody, and Hot Dog Squatter Dog.
Chad Austin, joined by Hot Dog Squatter Dog on location in Baltimore, Maryland.
Work.
And this week, we are covering the episode of ECW from October the 25th, 1994. And, well, I don't know. Anything going on in the world of wrestling this week, guys?
You mean with the Vince shit?
Sounds like embezzlement from everything I heard this morning.
I talked to my lawyers. I didn't like the way he treated me. I felt kind of violated. I had to put another notch in my belt loop after meeting with Vince. And I still wasn't hired.
But he made you sign a non-disclosure agreement anyway, right?
Of course he did. I signed everything away. I was somehow related to Tatanka. I don't know how that worked.
Well, it is going to be an interesting thing since, I'm 43 years old, so my entire life, Vince McMahon has run that company. It's been his vision, his word, his say. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, how things develop, if things change with Hunter in charge of creative and new executive leadership and all that. Obviously they're going to sell the company within 2 years. It's going to be part of a conglomerate of some sort. Anybody with half a brain for business knows that's going to happen.
Is that your final decision?
Yes. Fox, Disney, or NBC.
Are you going to say 2 years?
I'm going to say within 2 years, yes. Because
Okay.
Nick Khan has been preparing for this since he got there. And I still have the conspiracy theory that he's been working to get the old man out since he got there, too.
What you don't think Nick Khan already had this in his back pocket when?
No, absolutely. It's like I said to somebody. I don't know who I was talking to the other day. You look at Vince's circle and all the people around him, and all this shit has gone on for years, and nothing ever came out. Nobody ever brought anything to the attention of the board of directors. And then who's your odd man out here that probably started combing through the books the minute he got there and the minute he got access to them, because he knew Vince McMahon was dirty. You know what I mean? It's just, you just know it. So yeah, I absolutely think that that's probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't. I hear the possible, purchases of the company, and I'm like, there's no way. None of these companies are going to allow any of this nonsense to go on that goes on in pro wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't even understand what goes on in pro wrestling, much less know how to what do you say, police it?
Right. Yes. And that's where, if they do, that's what gives Stephanie an advantage and Hunter, is if there is a conglomerate that does buy it, they're going to want to keep wrestling people around and people that know the business. So it's not like WWE is going to get purchased by Fox and then they're going to shit can Stephanie McMahon. That's not how that's going to work.
Like WCW, when they just say like, Ted Turner, you're back in charge of WCW.
Yeah.
And Ted Turner goes, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I had Bill Watts running this goddamn thing. And then Bill Watts goes, wait a minute, I was already running some other place. Now you want me to run your little Mickey Mouse operation?
And then, and then lo and behold, Bill Watts is pissing off the side Turner or CNN Center. He's outside his office pissing off the building, and and like you said, you try to put lipstick on the pig and get wrestling into the corporate environment. Yeah, but I think WWE is also already corporate enough where it's not going to be as much of a culture shock. WWE is as corporate as pro wrestling gets.
Yeah, it's already fucked.
Yeah, I mean that's not. I don't think it'll be. It wouldn't be like absorbing Mid-South in 1986. What the fuck is up with
1984?
Yeah, what's up with this Dick Murdoch fellow?
Right. It's like, I would say it would be a preemptive. It would be like 1984 because everybody knew that Mid-South was what it was in 86.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no doubt that was the hottest thing in the whole entire country, correct?
Yeah, for that brief period of time. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say, what, I don't know, August 85 through December 86?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Not a goddamn fucking show was better than Mid-South Wrestling, in that time slot.
Yeah.
I'll put anything up against that. I don't give a shit if they have Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. You have some guy, walking across the fucking an eyelash. I don't give a shit. This is Mid-South Wrestling, stupid.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch things unfold. But we're watching things unfold as we watch this episode of ECW here from October 25th of 94.
Do we have to continue to talk about this ECW show? I mean, seriously.
We're going to listen to the phone calls.
We have phone calls?
Yeah, we got the call in, the get well wishes for the Sandman. I want to see if we recognize any voices. But that being said, Aaron, do you have anything? It looks like Aaron froze up. He already left, Chad. He's already gone. He already was like, fuck this show, I'm done. Let the dog co-host it.
He's too busy. He's on the other line with Archie Mitchell. He's talking. Archie called him and was like, this is an emergency.
No, if that happens again, I'll go inside. I don't know what's fucking going on.
I can't figure out how to jump over this thing on Pitfall.
Chad just figured Archie called you and it was an emergency. But
anytime Archie calls, how come Archie never calls me?
Ignore.
I never got a call from Archie Mitchell. I'm starting to think he doesn't even exist.
He's not even real.
Did that picture I sent you even remotely look like him?
No.
Oh, that's my fucking my picture of Archie Mitchell.
I sent you
that's
an actual.
That's like my store manager.
Archie Mitchell says, Chad, get that fucking milk stocked. Hurry it up.
I do. Nobody stocks dairy like me. I'm a dairy stocking motherfucker.
That's a hell of a gimmick, pal.
Dude, wait till I come out of my retirement, and I come out and I have a hand cart, and I'm wheeling like 4 crates of milk down the aisle. Fuck yeah! What? Well, you wait.
Best milkman since Jake Milliman. Is that his name? Jake Milliman?
Well,
he
was Jake the Milkman Milliman.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't the best milkman since him. He wasn't even really the milkman. I'm the milkman. The other day, somebody put 2% right in vitamin D, and I got all offended. Who did this?
One's blue, one's red. Get your shit straight.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. What? Come on, get your shit straight.
Well, speaking of your gimmicks, let's go through a paragraph of your Wikipedia before we get into this ECW show. Last week, we started your journey in ECW. The ECW part's kind of wonky because we've already gone through a lot of it by reviewing the shows. So let me see. It talks about your debut at Holiday Hell 1993 on December 26th. Your opponent continued attacking you after the match. The Sandman came to your rescue. This match aired on Hardcore TV. Like I said, this is already stuff we've seen, so I'm almost wanting to skip it. Let me go to... All right, the next paragraph.
There's another paragraph?
Slavinsky continued to be a regular at the ECW arena during the next year. On February 5th, 1994, he lost to 911 in the opening match of the night the line was crossed. We saw that. In the first half of 94, he also faced the Public Enemy, Johnny Hotbody, the Sandman, Hack Myers, and Shane Douglas. On April 9th, here we go, it's a non-ECW thing. On April 9th, 1994, he challenged Ricky Blues at the Mid-Eastern Wrestling Federation's Kenwood Chaos in Essex.
Yeah, that was a good match. That was I don't think that was, I mean, maybe it was me versus him, like just a single, but I thought it was an 8-man elimination, but maybe it was. But
I think that might be the one we talked about last week with the
8-man.
Yeah, with Johnny Paradise and the American Ninja.
All the fucking ham bones, like all them fucking, all them guys that I'll never see again. Yeah, I mean, who was it again? Who was I working against?
Ricky Blues.
No, I liked Ricky Blues. I thought Ricky Blues. Is this an ECW?
No. It's talking about your career in ECW, but then it sidelines into this Mid-Eastern Wrestling Federation match with Hard Rock Ricky Blues, it looks like, because even he has a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, he was smaller than me. I liked working him. He didn't like working me. And I heard that like years later, that he wasn't a big fan of mine. And I was like, I don't know why. I never had any problem with him. We got along, and he liked having like them like Juice and Liger matches. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care, but I'm not doing all that.
Right? Yeah, he's just singing the blues.
He's singing the Ricky Blues.
Yeah,
all right, we get it.
He's singing the Ricky Blues.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, we can't wrestle.
Well, here we go. October 25th, 1994, the episode of ECW. We start the show off with a Shane Douglas promo, and he's talking about Ric Flair to start the ECW show. Let's talk about somebody that's not even there.
What? I mean, let me ask you, where do you think this was, or have we already discussed this? You tell me. Have we already discussed this? Where do you think this was intended to go?
Absolutely nowhere. Essentially what it is, and I think it comes down to, at the time, it was a revolutionary thing because the company didn't talk about other companies on their TV shows. So at the time, people probably thought, "Oh, this is pretty cool. He's he's shooting on Ric Flair and blah blah blah." You look back on it again now, like I said, hindsight, you're just talking about the other guy's show on your show. You're essentially giving them a plug, So I mean, at the time, it was different. Therefore, it was accepted. But hindsight, I think it looks silly. It's a silly look.
And it's a one-way thing. Like, Ric Flair does not give a shit about Shane Douglas.
Yeah. He's never seen any of these promos.
Yeah, like, Flair, was like, when I've heard interviews with him, and he's been like, oh, yeah, I think he had a good run at Target, right? Like, that's how he looks at Shane, So it's like I don't know what they were trying. I know what Nate's saying, like, oh, these ECW fans are going to eat it up because they're knocking WCW, and that's not a thing that usually happens.
And Shane has to be the guy. That's the funny thing.
Yes, because
Shane has to be the guy, and they have to make the foil of Ric Flair. Ric Flair! They got to make the foil out of him, and this is Shane's job to make him look stupid. Seriously. Come on.
Yeah, your champion is more worried about guys in other promotions than his competition in his own promotion. But I guess in theory, this is probably more Shane like convincing Paul to let him do it, because Shane did harbor ill will toward Ric Flair and WCW. He thought he got the shaft from that company, and he was bitter. And I think he was using ECW as a sounding board to cry, pretty much.
That's sad. That's fucking. Isn't that like sour grapes?
Yes, and the other thing that's sad about it is overall, other than that, he's a really good promo. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, but weren't they good promos though? I mean, up to an extent. I'll say that.
Yes.
After 5-6 weeks, it became all right. Enough, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're aggravating and irritating and poking a bear that's never going to come here.
Right.
He's never going to show up, and then you keep challenging some guy that's never going to appear in the ECW arena. Why don't we focus on what we're doing? I mean, I don't know if you understand what I mean, but
absolutely, I totally agree. Yes.
And honestly, if Ric Flair would have showed up at the ECW arena, that crowd would have lost their fucking minds and cheered him over Shane Douglas.
Dude, did you see what happened with Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson showed up?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Flair showed up, they would have been like, holy shit, it's Ric Flair, and they would have lost their fucking mind.
Yeah, that was like me and that guy that looks like Buck Rowley walking down the aisle. like showing up. They popped huge.
Well, Joey intros the show here, and he takes us to a match between Hack Myers and Too Cold Scorpio. Before the match starts, we get a Born Again promo. This one's kind of short and sweet, kind of repeating the same stuff that he was going on about last week about, Feel My Pain and all that stuff. And
yeah, this is in my notes. This is like it was good, but this was kind of like
it was like the cliff notes of last week.
The cliff notes.
It was the lamer of the Born Again promos so far.
Yeah, and this is definitely one that was already in the can. Because what do you think, he was already gone by then?
I think no, because I think he actually has. I think he's going to have a match on the November to Remember weekend with Scorpio.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think he was gone by then?
I think he's gone very shortly, and maybe after that weekend.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah, I just remember him being there and then not being there,
mm-hmm.
and it was just like it was like one show to the next, and then you do the whole deal where you got to do you tape. I don't know how many. I couldn't tell you how many interviews. 3 weeks ahead of time or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe 1 week he just didn't show up. I don't know what the deal was, but
I'm sure there was the blow up. Did we already discuss this on the show when he had a big falling out with Paul?
Oh yeah. During this match,
somebody liked the Grand Wizard or something. Isn't that what it was?
That was Jason.
Oh, it was Jason. Well, maybe Matt Bornhead was fond of the Grand Wizard too. Well, none of them are alive, so fuck them.
We can say whatever we want.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Is their estate going to sue us?
Their estate?
Yeah, is their estate? Is the Grand Wizard's estate going to sue us for slander?
I hope it's a ribeye. Jesus.
I put in my notes here during this match, the crowd's actually behind Hack.
Yeah, Hack was really starting to garner a lot of fan support, and it was something that was organic, and it was never meant to happen.
Yeah, he was kind of like a homegrown guy.
Well, he was a job guy. He went up there with me. Like, when I went up there, we all rode in the same car. And he was a job guy, and Paul saw something in that, and this guy wanted to live this gimmick, and I had no idea what the gimmick is. He lives on the last house on the left, and whatever. And I'm like, dude, you want to look like that? That's fine. Hey, I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Wrestle in your PJs. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, is that, literally they were like pajamas. But yeah, I mean, people liked Hack, and he was cheap talent to say the least, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to be insulting at all. But do you think one of the reasons was because Hack looked like he could be one of them out in the crowd?
Well, yeah, but that's what I was trying to say. Like Hack, like other than Sandman, Hack was like the first guy watching the show that ECW crowd like got over themselves. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we like this guy. We're gonna put him over. We're gonna chant for him. We're gonna do the Shaw shit with him. And it's like Sandman, Mikey, and Hack are the first like three dudes that ECW crowd gravitated towards and wanted to help.
Yeah, and then right after that is when Paulie just drove 911 right into the middle of that.
Mm.
All right, these are all the guys that you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here's the guy that we're pushing right here. This big fucking no talent piece of garbage, like 911. I mean, that's not even like that's not even speculation. That's fact.
It's fact.
That happened right in the middle of that. And it kind of screwed us all because where to put us? All we were victims to 911.
Yes, what do I want to say? Props for 911.
So there goes your undercard, right?
Yeah. Yep. You just choke slammed them all and left them laying in the middle of the ring, plus two of your referees and your commissioner even.
And 4 females and two of the guys taking the tickets. And Kathy Fitzpatrick, who has nothing to do with any of this, but she still somehow got fucked up.
Personifying innocent victim. Well, Scorpio hits a great plancha during this match. They have actually a really good competitive match that Scorpio wins with the 1.5 off the top.
It was good.
It was. It really was. Actually, I wasn't expecting it to be as two-sided as it was, I guess.
Yeah, Hack kept up with Too Cold, and it's impressive. In my opinion, I thought it was a decent match, and it was something that would be considered like on paper like a Styles clash or whatever, but they made it work, and I thought it was a very decent match.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, I thought it was fun. I mean, I wouldn't see any reason why at that time in that period why it wouldn't air on that program.
So the next thing, we have Joey talking about the Public Enemy and their November to Remember weekend coming up. The first night they're going to face the Pitbulls. The second night, Mikey and Cactus Jack for the tag team titles. And then we go to a Public Enemy promo, which was kind of a step back from the one we liked last week or the week before, whenever it was. This was kind of a step back from that.
And that's actually in my note, just like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Oh,
they went
Johnny.
They went back to the buffoonery. It's like,
Yeah, they might as well be doing the kid and play, you know.
It's like, stop being buffoons and just be heels. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, why wouldn't they do the kid and play? That would be the gimmick. Like, oh, Johnny, 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. And then on the third one, you grab the guy's hand and you spin around and you do it from the other side.
That's right, Rocco.
That's right, kid and play. You know, we rolling with kid and play now.
And then when the toilet gets plugged up in the fucking ECW locker room, they can be like, "Oh, that guy in the leather jacket, he looked like he could shit."
There's a toilet in ECW locker room?
Well, I was just thinking, there's that line in fucking House Party where the fucking toilet gets plugged up and kid's buddy's like, "Oh, that guy in the leather jacket, he looks like he could shit a brick," and it's in the fucking 911. Like, he's the guy that plugged up the fucking ECW.
And there's Donnie Allen.
Donnie Allen.
he just shit out Donnie Allen. Oh man, or Paul Lorio, whatever his name is. One of them fucking bones.
But no, honestly, like I think like I said, I think they took a step backwards on their promo this week. Like that one where like last week where they were busting bottles with a baseball bat and being intimidating and everything. This one just didn't do it for me.
No.
I agree. It was more of the shit from like a month ago. Like you said, the cartoony, silly, not heelish like it was last week. Not quote unquote, I guess, hardcore.
Menacing.
How much you want to bet that it was probably something that was already in the can? It wasn't it generic?
Yes. It was generic.
Don't you think that could have been like, we've already seen in the last 2 weeks, there's been 2 public Emmy promos basically in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
What, do you think they're all taped at the same time? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. The
one that was last week, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that was dated for like the show that it's coming up. But the other one I think was generic, like this one was. We from the hood and all that. Yeah. Whatever. Hibbity hoopla.
Well, after that promo, we go to Joey, who talks about, of course, he's talking about how the talk of ECW is the injury to the Sandman, how they have encouraged the fans to call in and wish the Sandman best of luck.
That's right. The Sandman. There you go. Brian laughs. Isn't the only one that has sound effects.
The height of sound technology here on Reliving the Extreme.
Yeah. I just flushed the toilet and they just heard it on the goddamn phone. Wow. What a program.
Well, I think we should listen to these phone calls that they got at ECW. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all for listening to anything.
All right, let's have a listen.
Archie Mitchell involved?
See if we recognize any of these voices, who some of these callers might be.
Some of these house guests.
But nevertheless, the hottest topic of conversation in ECW today is, of course, the Sandman's injury and retirement. And recently we asked you, the fans, to give your comments, your feelings regarding the Sandman situation on the hardcore phone line. Here now are your comments.
Hey, let me tell you, Sandman, I feel sorry for him. But he shouldn't feel that bad, because Dreamer's going to fight the Sandman. And he's going to pulverize that jerk Tommy Cairo. And by the way, I think Woman's going to manage Dreamer. That's my opinion. You hear?
You hear?
That's Archie.
I don't know why Tommy Dreamer feels so bad. The Sandman would have done it to him. Besides, Woman stirred this whole mess up anyway.
Yo, Sandman rules.
People nuts. Take it from a woman's point of view.
People nuts.
I think Woman's behind this whole thing. I got it figured out that wench is going to manage Cairo.
I saw what happened to Sandman. I thought it was funny. As a matter of fact, I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, can someone do me a big favor? Give Woman my phone number. I know she'd love to manage me. Oh, by the way, my name is Tommy Cairo. Hey, man. What happened to the Sandman was a tragedy. And that Cairo, what a jerk. Messing around like that with the stick in the eye. What an idiot. I hope something bad happens to him. Hey, man.
What the fuck are these people calling?
What happened to the Sandman? I hope he makes it back one day. What happened to Sandman was not Tommy Dreamer's fault. Hope the Sandman makes it back into the ring one day. And
Sal Paloma?
You can tell what kind of a woman she is. She already has someone to manage.
How am I going to tell you?
The Sandman is going to come back one day and kick everybody's butt.
What's the matter, you?
Dreamer, he's going to take over for the Sandman. And as for Woman, I don't care who she's going to manage. I hope Dreamer canes her. ECW! ECW! ECW!
All right, so there you go. There's the crew of malcontents. Yeah, the crew of malcontents they had calling
the house guests.
I'm going to tell you, Sandman.
Who are these fucking rubes?
He got him in the eye. That's a spicy meatball.
Jesus. I mean, I honestly, we had to figure out who these rubes were.
I think it was the mystery house guest.
No, I don't think it was, because I know the mystery house guest is Cadence. That wasn't him. That had to be, I guess I would say, Jabroni's in the office. Had to have been, right? Had to have been
somebody's girlfriend. You know, it's probably one of the girls.
I mean, honestly, let's put the microscope underneath this. What do you think the 900 number fucking drew?
No, it couldn't have been much. At least at this point, it couldn't have been much.
It was less than 10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I mean, can we be honest on that?
Yeah, because they're not even nationally syndicated at this point, are they? They're still pretty much East Coast.
Yeah, well, it's sport. It's on that sports channel that goes to like 7 different big markets, but there's no way of telling you what the ratings are because it's syndicated.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to tell like what the actual ratings are. So when it has to be like just jabronis that are like in the office, whatever, just calling up, and Paul's going, call this number and leave a message. Because I don't think I've never called it, honestly. And I honestly think it was my phone number originally that was the hotline. I had business cards for it back in the day. But I guess once Paul went to where it was a pay service, yeah, I don't know, but I'd like to know a little bit more about behind this. Like,
yeah, I was going to say I was hoping when it first started, I was hoping, other than Tommy Cairo, obviously, that I would recognize a voice. Like, for comedic purposes, I was hoping there would be one that was really obvious, but nobody was really obvious to me. I mean, you could tell they weren't actual callers, but, like, who's going to call and then at the end of their call go, ECW, while they're sitting there in their underwear eating their cereal. You know, it's just, I don't know.
What's the matter with that?
Sorry, didn't mean to judge.
And the funny thing is I don't wear underwear, but I eat cereal.
Aaron, any further comments on the phone calls here?
Nah, I'm pretty sure it was probably Archie Mitchell, like a young Archie Mitchell. And I think, honestly, one of them might have been Woman. I think
Maddie?
Woman was maybe Matt. I think Maddie was the ECW guy. I really do. And I think it was Archie Mitchell, Woman, and Maddie in the house.
And Sal Balomo.
No Sal Balomo. Sal Balomo is gone. Forget about him. If anything, it was somebody pretending to be Sal Balomo at a pizzeria. I'm telling you. No.
I'm thinking of the guy pretending to be Sal Balomo, pretending to call the ECW.
Now we can talk. The guy pretending to be Sal Balomo, because there's no way at this point Sal Balomo had no idea how the independents worked. He had no idea of Paul's vision. None. Seriously. None. Not a glimpse, not a glimmer, not a hope, not a little spot, nothing. He had no idea what was going on. And you know what happened to Sal Balomo? Goodbye. Can you put her with Johnny Hot Potty?
Arrivederci.
Yeah, bro. Marinara to your mama.
To your mama. Mozzarella Paisan.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck off, Balomo. Fuck off out of here, Balomo.
No, that's what I want Sal to say. Hey, can you put over Donnie Allen? And Sal Balomo was just like, fuck off.
Yeah.
And like in his big boots and his paper boat. He's just like, fuck off.
How great would that gimmick would have been? Seriously, if Sal would have went to Paul, like Paul was the Godfather. What's that?
Disgruntled Sal Balomo.
If Sal would have went to Paul, like Paul was the Godfather, and Paul told Sal he wants him to do this, and Sal says, I don't think I can do that, and he won against the family, like the Godfather.
I want him to...
And all of a sudden now, dude, how big of a baby face was Sal Balomo?
I want Paul to be like the Godfather and be like, I want you to whack this guy. And Sal Balomo in his big wooden boots and his paper boat just going, fuck off.
Yeah, and his stuffed
Sal Balomo.
He's throwing stuffed animals out to the crowd.
I'm not going to do it my way, Paulie. After that...
Sal Balomo is a stinker.
After the phone messages, we have Paulie dangerously cutting a promo with footage interspersed of Cactus Jack and Sabu, because they're going to be having their match coming up at November to Remember.
Oh, so it's finally something good?
Yes. And Paulie is in rare Paulie form here. It's just, I don't know. He's talking not just Cactus Jack, but he's also talking about the night before Sabu's going to have a match with Chris Benoit. About, of course, Sabu breaking the ribs. He's kind of hyping that he doesn't know if he's ready for Benoit because of the ribs. Just putting the great psychology in through this whole thing. Telling the story of two matches coming up November to Remember weekend. Aaron, your notes on this whole kit and caboodle here?
Your kit and caboodle, Aaron.
See, at first I was a little confused, but then I remembered that they had done that deal where they had hyped last week that Sabu had to fight Benoit first and then fight Cactus. So I thought it was a little out of place, but everything about it was really good. Like Paul narrating the match, I would have loved to see the entire match of Sabu versus Chris Benoit, but Paul kind of narrating it.
Yeah, by the videotape, buddy.
Yeah, it made it even better.
Because
Paul was telling you the story of the match
in Grand Paulie fashion, doing it as only he can do.
Well, I mean, what I was there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I could only imagine that after it was over, it was one of them deals where when they walked back in the locker room, it was a big, gigantic, hug. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank you. We're still here. Me and Hack Myers couldn't do it. We needed Sabu and Cactus Jack to make it happen. So yeah, I mean, to me it was like I thought this time of ECW was a very good time for ECW.
You've got a nice mix of up and coming stars, along with a couple of veterans sprinkled in there to put them over and or not put them over, but have good matches with them.
Somehow Tony Stetson's still sticking around. Oh, hell, he's fucking got a job.
Every promotion needs prelims.
And I did misspeak. It was about how Cactus Jack took injured Sabu and took his match away from Chris Benoit. I switched it, which I apologize for.
Mm-hmm.
But because then when they show the Sabu Cactus Jack match and Sabu busting his ribs and all that shit, and Sabu is going to get replaced by 911 because Sabu shouldn't go fight Chris Benoit, but Sabu ends up fighting Benoit, and it looked like they had a fucking barn burner of a match. And I wish we would have seen more of it. But like I said, the narration of Paul during this whole fucking thing was really good.
I wonder what kind of went wrong, like to make them do that. Because it always seems like something went wrong every single month,
Well, that's obviously when is it the November to Remember weekend? Is that coming up? Is that when Benoit breaks Sabu's neck?
I don't know,
possibly.
Because obviously it wasn't this match because they're still hyping the match for November to Remember. So
I think it was. Yeah, but it just seems like every ECW big show something happens.
The lights go out. What, Aaron?
Nate, sorry, I don't think Benoit breaks his neck in this one because Paulie's putting over that Sabu's still going into the Falls Count Anywhere match with Cactus.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a little after this. I think he breaks his neck in '95.
Yeah, it's after Florida, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's after Florida. And the Florida tapings were a whole different, I actually loved them tapings. I wish they would have did more of that.
That was actually one of their Florida trips. I think 96 was the first time I ever saw ECW on TV, because we didn't get it up here, and then our cable company started carrying the Sunshine Network, and I got to see finally not just read about ECW, but actually see it. And I think it was 96 because I remember it was when Shane Douglas had the ponytail look and everything. He had come back from the WWF. And I think it was one of those Florida swings that taping was at when I first saw ECW.
Yeah, the Florida thing is when I was completely removed. Where I was living, it was a triangle for me to get to from Maryland to Knoxville to Tampa. It just wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when I called Paul and I said, "Look, I'm not," he was like, I understand. He wasn't going to pay trans, so
right.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was calling and he was like, "The show's canceled. Chad Austin's not going to be here." Holy shit! What are we going to do?
What the hell am I going to do?
Hey, 911, who are you going to choke slam? Chad Austin. He's not going to be here. Oh, we'll find another one. Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. It was that easy.
Well, after the great Paulie stuff here, we get fucking Jason with this weird segment. He's hugging it. He's like coddling his belt and making out with it. And, it's fucking stupid. This is
ridiculous.
Stupid. It's fucking stupid is what it is.
It's ridiculous.
He says that he's looking at a globe. Welcome to. Hold on. What?
They
Go ahead.
Played a quote unquote Jason highlight package of his matches, and the first thing they show is him botching like a roll up and trying to get his feet on the ropes. You guys remember that?
So,
and it's a fucked up looking thing. Like he bought like the first thing they show of Jason and his highlight package is fucking up something. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, he does. He says, and I quote, "How do you like my palace of sin?" Like he's a fucking Batman villain, and he's got his underground lair. And then he's looking at a globe. Yes, folks, I'm describing this as surreal as it actually is. He's looking at a globe. The world revolves around him and his title. His belt is insured by the shooter Dean Malenko. And then he talks about Taz and November to Remember and Dean Malenko, and they're going to have an altercation and etc. But this was fucking weird, and it was pretty dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world.
And it went for fucking ever.
Yes, which most Jason stuff does. They love to give him TV time, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely bad. And, I mean, he takes up an exorbitant amount of TV time.
Yes. way more than he's worth.
It's not even like you go, all right, you got 30 seconds or 18 seconds or, you know what I mean? Whatever. Give me a bumper. Something. He'll just go and then he just won't stop. And next thing you know, it's a promo.
Well, and his promo's like, it's got cuts, it's got cut scenes and shit. Like it's a mini movie. And yeah, I don't know what Paulie's hard on was for Jason, but
it looked like David Lynch.
Yeah, there's some evidence going on there. Somebody's got something on somebody.
It looked like David Lynch produced a fucking wrestling promo. It was fucking weird and weird.
I don't even think David Lynch is that fucked up.
Playing the song, they start playing the song from the Crying Game.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I like David Lynch's movies, and I don't think he's even that fucked up to even fucking book this shit.
I expected a midget to come out and start talking in reverse and tell me that my fucking favorite gum flavor is coming back into style. It's like, what the fuck is going on? All of a sudden,
some fucking Dodge Challengers driving backwards at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah. And then the lady talking to a log. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Some broad gets out of the car with a gun, and
it shoots in reverse. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, man, you know what I mean? It's the whole 9 yards.
Well, moving on from this thing with Jason, Joey comes back, talks about Tommy Cairo from last week, and then says Cairo's back in action. They show fan cam footage of a
Is it his garden? Is he still in his garden?
He's out of the garden. He's broken free. No tomatoes, no peppers, no fresh fruits.
Come on. The tomatoes, the peppers.
Fresh
come
fruits?
on. Who grows better?
The fresh fruits. But he is hitting Mikey Whipwreck with potatoes when they show the footage. And then
that was a weird looking building they were working at. I don't know where that was at, but did you guys notice that?
I have no idea. I mean, was that the Hambone Fieldhouse?
I don't think so.
It looks like it looks like it was because of the roof, but I have to go back and look. But I mean, because that was like an airplane hangar, so it had that aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
It had that aluminum roof.
I don't think it was the Hamburg that this was filmed at, because like when I looked at it, like out in the crowd, it looked like people were sitting at tables at this show. Like it was fucking weird wherever they were at.
Like a dinner.
It was like it was an oddball.
Like a dinner party.
Could you imagine a black
it was
tie event?
Weird.
Could you imagine a black tie event when you advertise where it's going to be like $375 like a table? They come in a black tie event and you sit there and all of a sudden you're going to watch, I don't know, 24 guys just go out there and just destroy their bodies. Like crash through your table. Live the experience.
While you decide if you want the chicken or the beef.
Yeah. The guy's coming around. Do you want sake? Oh, no. Are you ready to order? No, this guy just fucked this guy up, man. He just flipped through a table and Well,
we hope you're enjoying yourself, Governor.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Well, after the footage of Mikey and Cairo with Dreamer coming out to save Mikey from Tommy Cairo, we get a match between the Tasmaniac and Chris Benoit. And one little thing I noticed that I haven't, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it has been before. One little thing that I noticed at the beginning of this match was Tasmaniac actually has TAZ on the back of his tights. So we're beginning the transition from the gimmick Tasmaniac to just Taz.
Oh, he had it on there before.
Okay, this is the first time I noticed. But
anyway. During Jason's weird ass promo, he calls him Taz the entire time.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. I mean, I just know. I always liked the evolution of Taz. And I thought it was done in a proper fashion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it wasn't forced down your throat totally.
No, and it wasn't just like a light switch. It wasn't overnight. It's a gradual progression to like kind of like a human. Well, I mean they patterned Taz's. What do you want to say? They patterned Taz's metamorphosis. Kind of. It's different, but it's kind of like Jimmy Snuka, Jimmy Snuka coming out from under the thumb of Lou Albano, that kind of a thing. I mean, I noticed similarities there, and I could be off, but
I mean, I don't see that, but I'm not going to say you're wrong if that's what you think that it was, and that's your opinion. But yeah, mm-hmm. I mean, I don't see it, but yeah, it was like all of a sudden Taz became Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was more because Paul didn't want Jason around anymore. That's what I think it was, and it was more like, "Hey Taz, how can you become more Taz without Jason being around?" You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can you do that's not gonna, apply Jason to be involved? And at that point in his career, I'm not sure that Mr. Pete was ready for it,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't know, and how does anybody react to that? I don't, how does anybody react to the answer? I don't know. What do you want me to? What do you want me to do? Archie Mitchell it? Just go out there and just
winging a prayer.
Just go out there and stand there.
Well, after, like I said, we get a match here between Chris Benoit and Taz. They do announce during this match that Shane Douglas will be facing Ron Simmons for the ECW Championship at November to Remember. Overall, Taz and Benoit have a good match here. I like this. I enjoyed this match.
I mean, seriously, Benoit could have a match with his ex-wife and his kid, and it'd be a great match.
It would kill. It would absolutely kill.
Dude, yeah, he would slay. That match would slay.
Yeah, it would end in a sudden death.
Yeah, it's oh my god. Yeah, we're all going to hell. So fuck it. Yeah, Benoit. I mean, what can you say? You can't do. I mean, who could you have a bad match? Throw some. Who's that guy back in the early days of our show that the guy with the ring, the garbage guy? What was his name? Not Max Thrasher, but
fuck.
yeah,
the Wolfman. The Wolfman.
Yeah, throw him out there with the Wolfman.
No, but seriously, that's not an untrue statement. I have I can literally say that Benoit is one of the guys that I can count on five fingers. I can count 5 guys that I've never seen them have a bad match with anybody.
No, I agree, man. Like when I worked Benoit, like literally he asked me like, what do I want to do? And I literally said, whatever you want me to do to you. Because I'm not going to say like, oh, I want to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to, I don't want to do a Hurricane Rana off the top of the rope or you know, like, what's the match? And you tell me where my offense fits in. And he booked it. And I was like, okay, it's fine with me. And clearly I got no offense. But that's beside the point.
At least he was nice enough to ask.
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to tell you get no offense? Because you get none.
Aaron, what did you think of Benoit Taz? Any highlights you wanted to bring up?
Oh, I thought it was a really good match. And like I said, they brought around the arena. And this was obviously a Hamburg match because there was wooden chairs out there. And I thought that...
you and them wooden chairs again.
Saying,
you love them wooden chairs.
I do, man. When it's like a throwback. When they were in Hamburg, it's like I like watching a guy get hit with a fucking wooden chair.
You just picture like at a ringside is
Dr.
Joey
George
Styles,
Sahorian,
and I'm Joe McHugh.
Yeah, there's Dr. George Sahorian, and I'm your ring announcer, Joe McHugh. Is that what you get up for every day?
Every once in a while, you throw in Gary Michael Capetta just for the hell of it.
Yeah, it's like I like what, like I said, it's a throwback. Yeah, it's a throwback to All-Star Wrestling. I mean, it's crazy. ECW did a fucking show, like a taping, where All-Star Wrestling was filmed. You know what I mean? It might be dumb, but I just think it's kind of cool that shit happened. And it was still those old school chairs. And I thought that fucking superplex that Benoit hit on Taz was great. Like, he went to the top rope to do it.
Oh, and in this match, I actually have a note. I don't want to cut you off, but I actually have on here, I guess I thought it at the time because it's on my notes. Benoit gives Taz the best snap suplex I've ever seen in this match.
Oh, that super quick one?
Yes, that's the best snap suplex I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, how much of a chance do you think Taz thought that was going to be that fast?
Hey, there's no way. He's just along for the fucking ride.
I'm telling you, I will call fucking Pete tomorrow and say, how fast did you think that suplex was going to be against Benoit? Because that motherfucker snapped you over like you owed him money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said, "Bam, done." What was Taz gonna do? He had one choice: go with it, you know,
or go with it. Yes,
or perish. It was go with it or perish. Yeah, poor Taz. See, Taz is a friend of mine, and I like Taz. And I don't talk to him as much as I used to because of his work obligations. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we used to joke about that shit all the time because he's not a tough guy. Like, he's not a fighter. No matter what his persona leads you to believe, he does not fight. He's not that kind of guy. And I'm just like, dude, you're a fucking fag. You know. You're basically an Archie Mitchell in the grand scheme of things. You talk a great game, but you don't do anything. Anyway, enough about Taz. We gave Taz enough fucking praise tonight.
Well, the time limit expires on this great match between Benoit and Taz, and then we end the show with Shane Douglas cutting a promo on Ron Simmons talking about defending the title against him at November to Remember, and at least he's not talking about Ric Flair. And that being said, guys, overall, what did we think of this episode of ECW this week?
It was all right.
Yeah, I'd give it another C+.
So that seems to be like where we're heading, right, Aaron? Like we're heading into the C+ range every single week.
Yeah.
Like
it's becoming ECW, but it's not 100% there yet.
So as of right now, it's become an EC+ W because that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll take it. Yeah, I agree. It's a C+.
I agree with you guys. I think that there was enough there to keep you watching the whole hour. There was nothing. Bad Public Enemy promos are something that I've grown accustomed to at this point. So the only other thing that I rolled my eyes at, obviously, we wasted 6.5 minutes on Jason, but other than that, I thought overall it was a good show, and there wasn't a whole lot that was bad on it. There was more good than bad, and that's always a good thing. Because every wrestling show,
way more good than bad.
Every wrestling show and every wrestling promotion has something that's not so good on it. Let's be honest.
It's called Monday Night Raw. Honestly, give me your assessment of what Monday Night Raw is. What's the good versus bad?
I think that WWE has great in-ring action. They have great athletes, but everything drags on, and it's so sterile and boring. And I'll never downplay the athletes. They have great wrestlers, and I actually Aaron and I have talked about it before, and he's the same way as me. WWE wise, I'm a pay-per-view guy. I don't mind their pay-per-views because the pay-per-views are mostly the wrestlers having good matches, but the TV shows, and I'm hoping this changes with Vince out of the picture, but the TV shows are just so monotonous. Nothing feels spontaneous.
Why doesn't somebody sit down with somebody and go, "Hey, watch this. This is Memphis 1984. Watch an hour of it.
Right.
Just watch an hour of this. Well, actually, I would say 90 minutes if you can get the 90-minute version of it. I don't know how you guys watch it, but yeah, watch 90 minutes of Memphis.
How about this? How about 90 minutes of 84 Memphis, 90 minutes of 81 Georgia, and 90 minutes of 86 Mid-South?
Well, then you got a promotion.
Yes, no shit. The best of the best.
If you got $10 million, we can go in business. You want to lose $10 million?
Sorry, guys.
What, Aaron?
Yeah, I'll tell you how to lose $10 million.
Guys. My internet cut out, and I apologize for that. But when you guys I'm assuming you guys are talking about like old school wrestling compared to like new. And you brought up the territories. WWF wasn't terrible. Like,
oof.
I don't think people should sleep on TNT.
What, the AEW stuff?
I really don't. I don't think people should sleep on TNT. No. Tuesday Night Titans.
Oh. Well, I like that. That's kind of like date night fodder for us when we come home on a Friday or Saturday. I go, I'll put on TNT.
Watch Fred Blassie do Letters to the Lovelorn.
Yeah, Junkyard Dog, not knowing his alphabets.
You see this stuff. Like the camp of it, but then they're also showing you like, Dick Murdoch and Adrian Adonis are stupid, walking around New York getting hot dogs with mustard on it and shit. But then you see him in the ring and they're badass. You know what I mean? It's like it's
and the Samoans eating fish.
Yeah,
like raw fish
and like. Show kind of the ridiculous side of it, but they're also, when they get in the ring, it's fucking real. I know it's not real, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. It's like, you can have the buffoonery, but have some legitimacy.
Buffoonery? You said buffoonery?
Yeah.
Oh. They have tons of buffoonery. That guy, that guy Austin Theory. he's all about buffoonery. What's going to happen when that guy has to go in there and bump one day? His body's going to be worn out before anywhere near his age because he's a buffoon. And that's your job. Your job is to bump when you're a buffoon. I know that from firsthand experience. Like, that's my job. I'm the buffoon. I don't even know what a buffoon is. I've never even picked up an instrument. and this guy's playing the buffoon.
Well, that being said, we're going to sign off this week. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you both again for a great show. And we will see everybody next week as we continue reliving the extreme. We hope you have a great week, everybody. And good luck out there, Vince. Reliving the Extreme is a production of Maxing Out Media, all rights reserved.